In a dimly lit room, Alex stumbled across a hidden link while browsing the dark web, one promising a live-streamed experience like no other. Intrigued, he clicked and found himself in a chat room filled with strangers, all waiting for a show to begin. The host, masked and cloaked, introduced the event as The Last Choice. Participants were asked to submit their darkest secrets anonymously. The secrets would be read aloud, and viewers could vote on which person should face a punishment determined by the audience. It was a twisted game, but Alex was captivated. As secrets poured in, betrayals, crimes, and confessions, Alex felt a growing unease. Suddenly, one secret stood out. "I killed my brother in cold blood." The chat erupted with excitement. Votes began to pile up, and Alex found himself oddly invested. But the host's next words chilled him. "Let's see what happens to our guilty friend." A countdown timer started, and the screen shifted to a live feed of a dark room where a man sat tied to a chair, his face obscured. The chat was frantic, some viewers pleading for mercy, while others clamored for punishment. As the timer ticked down, Alex felt a gnawing horror. He realized that the man was not just an actor. The confession had been genuine. When the timer hit 0, a trapdoor opened beneath the chair, and the man screamed as he fell into darkness. Alex's heart raced. What had he just witnessed? Suddenly, his computer screen flickered, and a message appeared in the chat. "Your turn, Alex." Panic set in as he tried to log off, but the page wouldn't close. "Let's hear your secret," the host taunted. Desperate, he typed, "I have nothing to share." But the chat room began to fill with messages, revealing his past, mistakes he thought long buried. The truth was out, and the votes started coming in. As he frantically looked for a way out, the screen darkened, and the host's face appeared, eyes glinting with malice. "You've been chosen. Let's see what happens when the guilty confess." In an instant, Alex's webcam activated, revealing him to the entire audience. He was trapped, both in the game and in his own guilt. The live stream had become his worst nightmare, and as the votes surged, he realized there was no escaping the dark web's grip. With one final vote, the chat exploded. "Punish him." The feed cut to black. Alex's screams were the only sound that echoed into the void. Evelyn had always been curious about the dark web, drawn in by whispers of secrets and danger. One evening, bored and restless, she decided to explore. She donned her anonymity, using a VPN and a secure browser, and found a forum dedicated to urban legends and unsolved mysteries. One thread caught her attention: the auction of lost souls. Intrigued, she read about a clandestine auction where people bid on experiences, memories, fears, even lives claimed to be real and life-altering. The thrill of the unknown beckoned her. Evelyn noticed a countdown timer on the page, ticking down to the next auction. Heart racing, she clicked a link to join the stream. A dark, cluttered room appeared on her screen, and a voice announced the auction would begin shortly. As the timer reached 0, a chilling auctioneer, hidden behind a mask, presented the first item. A woman's scream, sold to the highest bidder. The screen filled with chat messages, frantic bids flying by. Evelyn felt a mix of fascination and dread. Item after item came and went, each more disturbing than the last. Then, the auctioneer introduced the final item: a night with the hunted. He explained that it involved a live feed of a person being pursued by unseen watchers, with viewers able to influence the chase through votes. Evelyn's pulse quickened. The price was steep, but she felt an irresistible pull. She placed her bid, and to her shock, she won. The auctioneer smiled knowingly, and a new link appeared on her screen. Curiosity got the better of her. She clicked, and the feed flickered to life. In the darkness, a young man ran through a desolate landscape, breathless and terrified. Her heart raced. She could see his desperation. As she watched, a message popped up. "You have control." The screen displayed options for her to vote on how to direct his escape, which path to take. It felt exhilarating, but also horrifying. She hesitated, then made her choice. Suddenly, the young man stumbled into a clearing. The feed blurred, and she heard heavy footsteps approaching. A sickening dread washed over her as the chat exploded with excitement. They were watching him, hunting him. Another vote came through. Send him left. She hesitated again, her conscience battling her curiosity. The chat grew impatient. "Vote," it demanded. Against her better judgment, she clicked. The man dashed left, only to be met by a looming figure. Evelyn's stomach dropped as she witnessed him being dragged away, screaming. The feed cut out, leaving a chilling silence. Suddenly, her computer screen flickered again, and a new message appeared. "Your turn, Evelyn." Panic surged as she realized she had just become part of the game. Her webcam light flicked on, illuminating her horrified face. "Welcome to the hunt," the auctioneer's voice echoed from the darkness. Evelyn scrambled to close the browser, but it wouldn't respond. The walls of her room felt like they were closing in as shadows gathered around her. In a final desperate act, she yanked out her internet cable, but the screen remained on. A countdown timer began, ominously ticking down. "Let the games begin," it read. With her heart racing and no escape in sight, Evelyn understood too late. The auction never truly ended. She was now the hunted. Jake was an experienced hacker, skilled enough to navigate the dark web with ease. One night, driven by boredom and curiosity, he stumbled upon a site called The Watcher's Den. It promised live feeds of real-life events, some thrilling, others chilling. Intrigued, he entered the site and was immediately drawn to a live stream labeled "Tonight's Game." The description was vague, but the comments section was buzzing with excitement. Users claimed the event was interactive. Viewers could vote on what would happen next. A timer began counting down, and Jake felt a rush of adrenaline. He watched as the camera panned to a dimly lit alley, where a figure stood, looking lost and frightened. The chat erupted with anticipation, and the auctioneer's voice cut through the noise, announcing the start of the game. "Tonight, that you will decide his fate." As the countdown reached 0, viewers were given options: confront the figure, leave him alone, or call for help. Jake hesitated, but eventually voted to confront him, driven by a mix of curiosity and a strange desire for control. The camera zoomed in, and the figure, a young man named Tom, appeared visibly shaken. The auctioneer taunted the audience, encouraging them to vote on how Jake should interact with him. The chat exploded with suggestions, some cruel, some sympathetic. With every click, Jake felt the weight of the crowd's influence. He voted for a friendly approach, hoping to guide Tom to safety. The auctioneer's voice sneered. Not a very popular choice. Suddenly, the camera showed a shadow moving behind Tom. Panic surged through Jake. He typed frantically, urging Tom to run, but his words drowned in a sea of chaotic chatter. The crowd's votes shifted, and the majority chose to taunt the young man. As the sinister voice of the auctioneer echoed, "Let's see how he handles the darkness." Jake felt a sickening sense of dread. The camera switched angles, revealing a figure lurking in the shadows, stalking Tom. The chat exploded as viewers cheered, completely engrossed. Jake's heart raced. He felt complicit in this nightmare. He tried to log off, but the site wouldn't let him. A message flashed on his screen. "You are now a player." In a panic, He sent a message to Tom, warning him of the danger. But just as Tom read it, the lurking figure lunged forward, grabbing him. The screen went dark for a moment, then flickered back, showing Tom struggling helplessly. "Let's increase the stakes," the auctioneer's voice purred. "Vote to decide his fate. Save him or watch him suffer." Jake was horrified. He had wanted excitement, but this was beyond anything he could have imagined. He felt the weight of every vote, the collective desire for entertainment outweighing human compassion. With only moments left, he made a choice. "Save him," he typed, hitting enter as the timer ticked down. The chat was overwhelmingly against him. "Let him die," they roared. The auctioneer's laughter echoed, a haunting sound that filled Jake with despair. The vote closed, and the result flashed on the screen. "Suffer." The figure dragged Tom into the shadows, the screen filled with his terrified screams. The chat erupted with celebration, viewers reveling in the horror they had orchestrated. Desperate, Jake yelled into the chat, pleading for them to stop, but it was too late. The screen went dark again, and the auctioneer's voice returned, chillingly calm. "You've entertained the crowd, Jake. Now, it's your turn to play." The camera turned to him, revealing his own frightened face. The darkness around him thickened as he realized the true horror of what he'd done. The game had only just begun.